The OnePlus 5T was and still is one of my favorite smartphones. It's also one of the best in its current price range. And now with the new OnePlus 6, it takes what made the 5T great and modernizes it. With an ever-climbing price tag with every new release, is this latest device from OnePlus worth it? Let me give it to you straight from the jump. I do think the OnePlus 6 is worth it. It's got a starting price of $530, which is $30 more than what the 5T started at, so not a huge jump, but a jump nonetheless. And even with this step up in price, the 6 is still less expensive than any flagship you'll find from Google, Apple, and Samsung while being able to compete with their phones. So here's where the 6 is able to compete with the other more expensive flagships. Hardware. OnePlus decided to ditch the aluminum build in favor of an all-glass build, which I really like in terms of looks, but of course the phone won't always look this clean. So I went with Dbrand's camo skin to protect the phone from my fingerprints and the scratches I know will end up there. You can go ahead and check out their skins using the link in the description. But yes, the hardware here is excellent. The phone feels comfortable in the hand, very similar to the 5T's feel. It's solid, it feels very premium. I like it. And it obviously keeps up in terms of looks with the dual camera module on the back and the notch on the front, but they kept the headphone jack, which is disappearing out there. And you can't forget about that super useful alert slider on the right, so thumbs up to OnePlus for those. Also, a thumbs up to them for this screen. It's a 6.28-inch optic AMOLED display, it's got a 19:9 aspect ratio and an 84% screen-to-body ratio. Yet again, they decided to stick with a 1080p panel, but no worries here because it is bright, it's vibrant and clean, and I don't really have any complaints about it. It's nice. Next category where the 6 is able to compete and perhaps beat others out is user experience. With the 6, you're getting that classic, clean, and blazing fast OnePlus experience as expected. As of this video, my 6 is running Android 8.1 Oreo with Oxygen OS 5.1.5 layered on top. Oxygen OS has to be my favorite layer or skin on top of Android. You get super fast software updates, and it's pretty much pure Android with all those little tweaks and customizations we know and love. Now, something to note here would be the navigation gesture system. This is an option in the settings where you can get rid of the normal 3-button nav bar and use swipe up gestures instead. They do need some work, but they function pretty well, and I've been using them ever since I got the phone. While I really enjoy how clean the UI looks without the buttons, overall functionality is definitely missed with the loss of application quick switching and triggering Google Assistant. Some other things here are the ability to completely hide the notch if for some reason you just can't stand it being there. You can lock applications if you'd like. You've got loads of gestures and more. Continuing on with user experience, the 6 is very fast in pretty much everything it does. From unlocking the phone with a fingerprint reader and face unlock, which I love by the way, swiping around and bouncing in between applications, to charging the phone with dash charge, which is only the fastest charging option through a cable out there. Everything is fast. I haven't experienced any lag, any stutters, hiccups, or anything abnormal. Powered by the latest and greatest Snapdragon 845 CPU, Adreno 630 GPU, and a minimum of 6GB of RAM, everything you do on a smartphone is a total breeze for the 6. OnePlus was right, this really is the speed you need. Now, something I'm glad isn't so fast is the speed at which this phone loses battery life. The 6 has a 3300 mAh battery, which is the same as what the 5T had, and with this I can comfortably get 5.5 hours of screen on time with all the tasks that I throw at it. Lastly, the other category where this phone can compete in is the camera category. So no, the OnePlus 6 cameras won't beat out the likes of Samsung, Google, or Huawei completely, but results are absolutely nothing to sneeze at, and you can get some really good looking shots with these cameras. Pictures come out with a nice detail, good exposure, solid color reproduction. They're sharp, although sometimes too sharp, especially with the front-facing camera. Low light performance has gotten a good amount better as well. Now, shots can turn out to be a bit on the warmer side, but if I'm being completely honest here, I am quite pleased with the results I get from the 6's set of cameras, mainly because of the phone's price. Of course, a $500 phone isn't supposed to have better cameras than more expensive flagships, but the fact that results are competitive is very impressive and it speaks volumes. On the video side of things, the 6 can now shoot in 4K at 60 frames per second with optical image stabilization, which is nice. It also has dual microphones, so audio and video recordings sound good. It can shoot in slow motion at 240 frames per second in 1080p. Results here are pretty solid, and 480 frames per second in 720p as well. So the cameras aren't perfect. Like I said, some pictures can come out over sharpened. It may not be horrible, but the portrait mode still isn't up to par. But again, this is a $530 phone, and for that, These cameras are pretty darn impressive. Okay, so the OnePlus 6 is not a perfect phone. In fact, some people, including myself, may call the phone's feature set a little bit of a letdown, and here's why. So you know how the phone has this beautiful all-glass design and how glass backs open the door for wireless charging? Well, the 6 does not have wireless charging. This of course can be looked at as a luxury, and it isn't a must-have feature even for someone like me who absolutely loves wireless charging and has charging pads all over the place, but it's still a little disappointing not having it on board. A OnePlus rep did come out and say that they didn't find the need to add it, and I guess having the blazing fast dash charge helps make up for that too, but with the direction smartphones are going, OnePlus may want to look into adding it moving forward, especially since they're looking to keep up with other things like the notch. Another disappointment is the lack of a stereo speaker setup, and this was more of a letdown for me than wireless charging was because I feel this to be more of a necessity. This is something manufacturers are finally starting to make standard. I know some like HTC have been doing it for years, but having a good sounding pair of stereo speakers on a smartphone can make a world of difference for mobile media consumption. Now, it's not like the single bottom firing speaker here sounds awful, it doesn't. But after using phones like the S9, Pixel 2, Razer phone, and even the P20 Pro, I've been spoiled by their stereo speaker setups, and that single bottom firing speaker feels and sounds outdated. But here's the thing, are these two things total deal breakers? Absolutely not. Remember, this phone starts at just a little over $500. I could also throw in the phone's lack of expandable storage and an IP67 or 68 rating. On the flip side of that, the 6 does come in variants sporting up to 256 gigabytes of storage, which is still under $650. And while OnePlus touts the 6 as being only splash proof, there are some videos out there showing off just how well the 6 can withstand a good amount of water. So like I said before, the OnePlus 6 is an improved, modernized OnePlus 5T. It's a great phone, but as of now I don't see a glaring reason to go out and grab one if you already have a 5T. I'd recommend waiting until OnePlus decides to implement certain features, which hopefully won't be too long from now. However, if you have something a little older, an upgrade to the 6 would be a fantastic option. Either way, OnePlus yet again offers what I believe to be the best bang for buck option out there. OnePlus is off to a good start in 2018. I like the direction they're going, and I can't wait to see what they have in store next. So what do you guys think of the OnePlus 6? Let us know your thoughts and opinions and whether or not you'll be picking one up. Drop that all down below in the comment section. As always, we love to hear your feedback. But anyway, that does it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to hit that like button, subscribe to the Android Police channel if you're new. I will talk to you guys later, and thank you so much for watching.